And we're back.
We're back, man. The last segment, Sector 3. I really enjoyed that, people. And thank you, Game Done, for the
The
passion project.
Passion project, the Passion game.
Yeah. Yeah, I was using the alliteration. Was it
Mm.
fan made? Yes. So, yeah. So, I think you hit the nail on the head with what the Switch 2 could be about. Maybe, I don't know if this was your point, but what I gathered from what you're saying is that the Switch 2, no, the DS, I think the DSi in particular, the
Mhm.
second best-selling Nintendo console, and
No,
in the
best-selling
world.
Nintendo console, second best-selling console
All right,
overall.
yeah.
Number
Best-selling
one
Nintendo.
is PS2.
Mm,
The library
yeah.
was amazing.
Mm,
Then DS is the best-selling Nintendo. It's the second best overall.
yeah, and because of that, as you said, something you said earlier, is that it has a library that can't be replicated because it's very console tied to the console, the way it works, the hardware,
Yeah.
and yeah, because of that, we have Nintendo's. It's got like a secret weapon in that they can use that stuff and say only we do it. We already have the IP, and if we just like, I don't know if we I think we looked at that little clip before last week, where somebody had animated a second screen being slotted on the top of the
Mm.
Switch. I think that's probably what they're going for. That'll be a surprise. And
I've seen three different variants of this argument. One is last week. Yes, it's an attachment. You attach a second screen on because there's the new Switch 2 has USB-C connectors on top and bottom. So you can charge from the
mm,
top, charge from the
right,
bottom.
right.
But I do think that that's implying, that's alluding to the fact that you can use it in different ways. But yeah, you slots on, and then you have the bottom screen is touch screen, so for touch screen
Mm,
games, and the top is just a secondary screen. I've also seen that the unit will have a holster that will slot the Joy Cons in, and then you turn it vertically, so you have a vertical, and then it's just like the Switch 2 with a screen at the top and the screen at the bottom. A lot like how people play DS games on their phones. You have this one screen at
uh-huh.
the top and one screen at the bottom.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
personally play DS games on my little
That
MatMadik SP, and I
yes.
have one screen that dominates, and then one screen in the bottom corner, and then I alternate between the
Mm,
two. Um,
right.
but the last one is using it as a full home rigging system, where you have the TV as the top screen and the whole Switch 2 as the bottom screen. So you're
We were talking
controlling.
about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an argument someone did because they were talking about the C button. There's a mystery button on the new console
Mm,
that no one really knows what's happening. And one of the arguments was it's a connect button. It connects in a variety of different ways. Now we do know
mm.
that the Switch 2 is going to be Wi-Fi 6 enabled. You know, Wi-Fi 7 is rolling out, but it's not fully implemented yet. The Switch 1 was at Wi-Fi 5. But now we've got Wi-Fi 6, which means it's a lot faster. If for communication, download speeds will be a lot higher, and it's more suited for online gaming, more kind of current generation online gaming capable. Also,
Mm.
there's Nintendo released a patent, as it just dropped, on spatially aware sound. As in,
But like,
if your character, if you're moving an avatar through a 3D environment, and there are other people who are playing in a 3D like an MMO environment, as your avatar moves closer to them, their audio moves in. And then as you move
right.
away from them, it moves out to create this seeming sense that they are actually in the environment. So it
Mm.
is exciting to think that, Nintendo is leaning into more online gaming. They're
Right.
patenting technology that will benefit online gaming. As you say, Splatoon, they needed a hook, but they've seen how beneficial and how profitable it is to have these recurrent games. I prefer a start, a beginning, a middle, and end.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm not going to
yeah.
lie and say that they're not profitable. I mean, for God's sake, the kind of money they're
Mm,
making now is just gaming has become the world's most profitable, most successful hobby. Our entertainment. It's bigger than music, bigger than film, bigger than TV. So it's
mm.
because of this. It's because once you start, you can just keep playing and keep spending.
Yes.
So yeah, the Nintendo is leaning into a lot of exciting advancements, the really exciting things that the Switch 2 could do. But at this point, it's all speculation. We've got to wait 2 weeks, two
Ah,
weeks,
that's
two
something.
weeks, and we get the
That's something.
full, the Switch 2 drop. We get the well, not yeah, the switch to release. The reveal. We've seen there is a console. We've seen its size, its dimensions. The kind of cool art design, and but a full video, what it is, what it can do, what games have they done, what's changed, what's stayed the same, all of it. 2 weeks, people. Two
bro,
weeks.
2 weeks.
It'll be
For
here
first,
before you know it. It'll be here before you realize, and then bam, we are in it. Everyone's talking about it, and then before you know it, they'll have it on shelves.
yeah, but time flies. My gosh, because I mean, I hope Sasha is here for that too. Actually, by the way, people, Sasha should be making an appearance at some point.
That'd be nice.
Um, yeah, but bloody hell, bro, that is it. All these, yeah, I'm pretty sure we came up with that. No, maybe you saw it before, but I know I said it. I mean, one of us said it. That the Switch screen, the TV screen could be the DS, and the
Mm.
the handheld could be that. But I know we said that. I mean, but maybe somebody said it before us. Oh, but
The people have been speculating. People have been wanting DS games on the Switch for a while, so these ideas aren't new. These people
mm,
have pitched these ideas, peripherals, turning the console around, for a
mm,
while now, because the people want the DS games on it. And hell, they acquiesced towards the end of the Switch's lifespan, and they introduced a Castlevania collection, the Castlevania
yeah.
DS collection. Three games that are console locked to the DS. All they did was just remove the touchscreen elements and
Mm.
released it on Switch. And yeah, I mean, if I didn't already have them all, both as physical and ROM, I would be interested in buying a collection. But I'm
That's
not
it.
buying
Nah,
them a
no.
third time.
Yes, no more box office love for. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can rate it with our votes and so on, but
Mm.
but that being said, here we are. So at the end of the day, Nintendo is gonna. I mean, it's probably burning them the idea that the whole thing was leaked to smithereens. So they're probably thinking to themselves to beat the leakers, they reveal of a red herring. That is to say, something that is again with the mystery C button, exactly what it does. It's not been fully revealed yet. Once the I'm banking on so far. I'll tell you. I think I'm thinking. I think even this 2DS screen thing, not 2DS, this DS screen thing. Yes, I think that's it's gonna be. If they don't do it, they'll be looking dumb. But I don't know how. What can I say? I don't know how that would actually pan out in terms of. Yeah, look, I'm sure it can be done. There's a bug in it. He's gonna see the end of his life soon.
Perhaps,
I don't know how
perhaps.
that pan out, but I'm thinking Nintendo's probably. But I'm just thinking there's probably one more secret. Like that camera that they had on it in that concept video. I wonder what. Nah, I was gonna say something stupid, but I was gonna say what if there's some sort of a projector on it on this. And I was like, that
That'd be
could
cool.
be,
That could be
yeah,
cool. I do think that Nintendo doesn't owe us a surprise, but it's absolutely in keeping with their style. Like if
yeah,
they kept at least one or two secrets, played it
mm,
close, really close to their chest, and just so they had something new for the review for
mm,
the full direct. Just because we know about the console, we knew about the stand, we knew about a lot of the changes, we knew about the chipset because of
mm,
leaks. So
mm.
we not only know it exists and we know how strong it is, so we can speculate accurately on what kind of games we could be on it. There's a lot of things that have been ruined, and it'd be nice if Nintendo got some of the accolades, got be able to show off some of the things that they put their work into. They've been working on this for a long time.
Mm.
Some of the credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a loved company that if the whole thing was leaked and that was that, people, of course, would still buy it.
Oh
Well,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone's going to be stoked for it. Switch has been it's been an absolute game changer, one of the most successful consoles in generations. Ever since
yes.
PlayStation 2, it's like Generation 2, yeah, Generation 6 was the PS2. Then the next generation, there was the DS, was the most popular console. And then
Mm.
after that, it was, no, DS was, yeah, then that, wow, it's like in 2 generations, it's the most popular one for a long time, which means
That's,
that it'll be Nintendo has spots 2 and 3. They own 2 spots now.
oh, there you
To be fair, they
go.
had them before, but it's nice that your latest thing did that well.
Right. Bloody hell. I mean, wait, it's 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks. And then the speculation will change. I mean, then it'll start being reviews again, because that's it's the a cycle with us. We speculate until we get the thing that we review it.
Absolutely.
and then it goes, yeah, and then I love it, man. I love being alive just to witness the advent of the next console generation. I think I know it's been underplayed, but I really think AI is going to have a big part to play in what ends up happening. It's probably the one thing that's under wraps the most. People are focused on the hardware, and which I think is a good thing. But I think by the time you get AI messing with the game in a creative way, and you use IPs, or not, you use the IPs to protect what Nintendo makes. They only we make this particular image. Then Nintendo's gonna say, what we've innovated in the virtual, and who knows? I mean, it may be again with the camera. Maybe you have to take a picture or something. Like the DS. You take. What am I thinking about Game of Death? Of course, the DS was a camera. I had a camera on the back. That's what I
Sure.
was thinking. What do you do with that camera? I was like, oh yeah, the DS was a camera console. I always forget about that. And the mic and everything. If you have that a part of the game, all right, or maybe that camera, what do you call it? Excuse me. Maybe that attachment of a camera or a screen with a red herring, and maybe it's going to just be a screen with a camera on it, And then once that's there, you can go back to doing what the 3DS tried to do, which was to deal with AR a bit more, take a picture of something in the room. I got a feeling it's going to be play with something in the room, like scan the card in your game kind of thing, but in the AI way.
I leaning into the ARG, into the augmented reality. I think I've long said that I think that's the way Nintendo's going to go. They're going to
Mm,
start introducing holographic Mario's to major events. So Mario will
mm,
be at locations, and you can go and see him. We've already got a world, Super Mario World, Super Mario Land World at
mm.
theme park where you can go into the world and interact with
Yes.
it. I think
Mm,
that's the way Nintendo is going to pivot themselves because
mm.
they've done so well with this console, but they can't guarantee it. Every console generation is going to be different, and we've been Xbox has announced they're doing a new console,
Is
so
it?
we
Oh
know,
my
and we
God.
also know, yeah, Xbox has announced they're doing a new console, and PlayStation announced a while, not too long ago, that they are pivoting to a new handheld. Like
Oh, bloody hell.
the PSP and the PS Vita were absolutely so far ahead of their time. They were beyond the bleeding edge. The PS Vita was a home console in a handheld, but they priced it as such. They
Mm,
had to make the money on the object. They spent so much time in R&D in it, and it was so good. I mean, God, for bleep's sake, it had touchscreens on both front and back to interact with it. Look, it was just a
yes.
groundbreaking device, too ahead of its
Mm,
time. But now is the time. Now gaming is pivoting towards portability. So PlayStation is
mm.
looking at a new portable. Xbox is out. Switch 2's got to have something, some hook, you know. But we won't
But
know.
the Switch,
Two
no,
weeks. Two
mm, I,
weeks. We got to wait two
yeah,
weeks. We can
2 weeks.
speculate all we want, but we need the facts. With that, actually,
The only thing I can say, yeah. Okay,
I
you all
I,
right?
I want to show you one or two quick videos before we
Oh,
tie
yeah,
this
please go
to a
ahead.
bow in this thing. One, this is a fun thing.
Yeah,
PlayStation
yeah.
has long held on to their exclusives, and we've said that we're
Mm,
entering a new age of gaming now. Everyone's kind of sharing their games,
mm.
beginning to cross-platform games. Basically, brought the end of the console wars because wars are fought on exclusives. Microsoft might have just figured out how to get a hold of PlayStation's exclusive games without their permission.
Oh dear.
Dude,
This is
check
it.
this.
When Microsoft and Sony start gearing up, Nintendo just look like they're the underdog all the time. But
They are Nintendo are never going to be the underdog. They are playing their
it's
own game. It's just a different game.
amazing.
Check
Yeah.
this. This is Garrett the gamer. I'm a big fan of his. His stuff makes me laugh. Oh wait,
Oh, the sound is off.
I
Yeah.
turn the sound off. Sorry. Right.
I know how I'm gonna get your exclusives. Oh, really? How? Steam works on Windows, right? Yeah, so? So, theoretically speaking, if the next Xbox ran on Windows OS, you'd be able to install and play games on Steam on the Xbox, right? Technically, yeah, that would work. And you've started putting your exclusives on Steam, right? Not all of them, but yeah, I've started putting my games on Steam. Well, there you go. All I need to do to access your exclusives is make it so that the next generation of Xbox runs on Windows OS and you can install and play Steam games on there. And through Steam, I'll be able to access your games. Okay, but what would keep me from pulling all my games off of Steam? Them. Right.
Helldivers community are rabid. They are passionate. But yeah, it's Xbox has announced, Microsoft has announced the next Xbox console. I mean, they recently dropped 3 new consoles, but they're all just like palette swaps of the current generation. But the next big home Xbox console will be a PC. It's just a PC optimized for console experience. It's going to have its own OS, but you'll be able to, like the Steam Deck, just go click, 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 pull up the home screen, and then use it with a keyboard and a mouse like a computer, which means you can run your own programs on it, meaning that you can run Steam. And Valve's Steam has the biggest library. I mean, it has a library that dwarfs everything. It's bigger than PlayStation 2's, it's bigger than everything that's on PlayStation, period. It is enormous. And PlayStation have been making a lot of waves by releasing their exclusives on Steam because they want the PC market. They're making a lot of money. The game accounts are huge because a lot of gamers want to play PlayStation games, they want to play Xbox games, but they want to play them on the PC. When it was just like, 3 separate crowds, it was into sharing the exclusives. But now, exclusives. But now, if Microsoft releases a gaming PC optimized for a console experience, works with a controller, designed for a TV, just it's designed to function as a console, but it is just a PC, like the freaking Steam Deck. They get they can crack Steam, and Steam has everything, including PlayStation.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. But Nintendo games, yo.
Yeah, they're kind of still in their own camp.
And Nintendo, that's so smart about them. They're saying that hell, go to hell, you. I'm not letting you monopolize our own. I mean,
Yeah,
Nintendo.
but because currently it's a good idea because Nintendo is doing great. The Switch is running high. Everyone's got one, or almost everyone has one. So they have their own way of accessing those games. But at times when Nintendo was doing poorly, there was a real talk about, people said, Nintendo, bring your games to other consoles. People want to play the game on the console they're more comfortable with. It's like most PC gaming, when you do the optimization and you use a controller, it uses an Xbox format because that's the standard now. And I go, no, none of that. Give me a Nintendo controller or give me a PlayStation controller because I don't want to use their controllers. People want to be able to play the way that they choose. I want to play either on my PC with a Nintendo controller or on my Xbox with PlayStation controller. I want to be able to play anyway. And these days you almost can. Exclusivity is going the way of the dodo. Nintendo will always jealously guard their things, but they're part of the old guard. Xbox is thinking about the future. They're just going, yo, let's just blend PC and console together and sell the slurry.
But it's shown to be very wise of Nintendo to be conservative that way because they preserved themselves from this potential monopolization or this
because they have a market. But PlayStation is making money hand over fist by putting their games on Steam. It's a bigger market. There are more people on Steam than there are on PlayStation, meaning that there are more people buying your games. Any company that makes an exclusivity deal is going to have to swallow that cost. It's going to cost them a lot of money to make a game of that pedigree, like a AAA game, but they won't be able to sell to the bigger market. They'll have to keep it kind of walled off, which means it's going to be some of these games might be at a loss. Yes, but traditionally those games, the exclusives, were the games that sold the console. That was what people bought the console for. You went to PlayStation if you wanted to first person, Oscar bait games. You wanted to play multiplayer, you went to Xbox. You want the classics, you go to Nintendo. That was what you did, and they walled it off. But PC's gone, nah, we'll just put everything on it, or everything on the same place. And I don't see a downside. You know, the
I mean,
companies will
that's
hold out, but it's only a matter of time.
but what again? What about as this people, this animation illustrated? If PlayStation just says, "All right, Xbox, you're pulling our Steam games."
PlayStation could pull their Steam games once Microsoft allowed for PlayStation games on their console, but it would be breach of contract with Steam. So, and it would piss off a lot. They'd have to refund everyone who bought their games on Steam because
Mm.
there's a lot of people who bought their games and then had the games torn away from them. Nah,
That's the thing. I mean, what
there would
could
be
you?
outcry. It would be a massive PR blunder.
That means that Xbox is. I mean, Microsoft, no, PlayStation is checkmated or trapped. Like this is when Nintendo's really
I
laughing
think
at
it
them.
is a
I mean,
smooth
even though
move.
that
I think
they are,
it's a very savvy move. People have been talking about how Microsoft is pivoting towards less technology and more software. Hell, it was also bandy around that maybe Microsoft Studios should just go the way of Sega and be a publisher rather than a hardware
yeah,
producer.
yeah, yeah.
Because Microsoft could do the
Because they
hardware,
already make
but Microsoft,
mm,
Microsoft Games could just sell games. They haven't been selling consoles. Nobody's bought an Xbox this generation. So,
mm.
but yeah, at the
Yeah.
start of the video, I did mention that I was in a good mood. I had some good news. Here's a little taster. I saw this morning. I was lying in bed doing a bit of scrolling, and boom, this popped up.
Everybody just
Mm.
calm down. Whoa, 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 what's going on? What happened? The better question is what didn't happen this last week because there is so much gaming news that went down. Like what? Well, for starters, Rainbow Siege X looks awesome. Good work, Ubisoft.
So Rainbow Siege X is a long-running game. It's got a big fan base. It's a team-based strats, like working as a squad to take down opponents or take over targets. And yeah, it's a pedigree game. It's a game that's been around, it's had many generations, and it's back. It looks good, which is good for Ubisoft. I don't like that company because of some of the poor choices by the executives, but that's a long-running company with a long list of great IPs. Rayman, for
Mm.
one, they're all owned by Ubisoft, and I don't want to see the company go under. I don't want to see all the developers be lost. I don't want to see the IPs be carved up and sold off piecemeal to other companies, which is what they were threatening to do when the company was struggling. But this looks good. This is producing a good game that people
That's it.
want, and that's the formula. Don't just give me a live service. Give me a good game, and then if monetize that game, fine. But
That's
don't
it.
sell me a monetization platform. Sell me a game. Make sure the core game, the primary gameplay loop works. And this looks good.
Merci,
That's
monsieur.
it.
Split Fiction sold over 2 million copies in the first week of release.
That's amazing. Split Fiction is a great new game. I think by who made Split Fiction? By a popular company. But it's a brand new IP. It's couch plus online cooperative. It's two characters, two people working together to collaborate on puzzles and tricks and working forward. I want to see more of this. I want to see more of good games being produced, new IPs coming out. I want to see new gameplay functions, new gameplay designs being put through the figures. Give me some more games that use these features. Have two people working together. It takes two as split fiction, or work together like this. And yeah, 2 million in the first week. That's a great number for a new IP. People are buying games. They're just buying games that appeal to them. They're not buying the same old slop that companies throw in the trough. Make a good game, and people will buy. People will pay. People will come. They'll buy. They will pay. That's reassuring to me. It shows me the industry's not like doom and gloom like
Yeah.
CEOs keep saying. There is an absolute market.
That deactivate
Sorry,
the
Ken, just a bit.
self-destruct minigame is probably putting some couples through some tough times right now. Apparently, we're getting a Power
Okay.
Wash Simulator 2. Mark.
See, I didn't play Power
People,
Wash, but
it's
I
gonna do some
did
air conditioning. One sec. Okay, let me see.
I didn't play Power Wash 2, but I absolutely recognize the game for being so successful. It's one of those, what did Zero Punctuation call them? He calls them sweaty, hairy dad games. They're basically games to unwind. They're like Zen. It's like painting a wall, it's stacking,
Mm-mm-mm.
folding clothes. It's some simple, mundane activity that you're doing to do the motion. You're not doing it for, oh, I'm really interested in painting this wall. No, that wall needs to be painted, and I'm here. So, but you watch it get cleaned, and yeah, I don't see the joy in it, but others do, and it's nice that this game, the game that had a simple premise with a simple core gameplay loop that they polished to end. It wasn't a giant sprawl of do this game and then do this, and then you have to unload this, and you have to go here, and you've got just a whole unloading of gameplay mechanics. No, it's just you get a water jet, you go to a dirty place, and you slowly but surely clean the house. Nice and
Therapeutic,
simple. Yeah, good.
cathartic. Yeah.
Make a good game, and people will pay it. Make a good game that fills a niche, and it'll be so successful you can make a sequel to it. You know, it
Yeah.
it's reassuring that the gaming industry isn't broken. The gaming industry is changing, and that's
Mm.
okay. It's changed before; it'll change in the future as well. But the core principles that I held to when I was a kid, when I was a young adult, where I am now, make a good product, and people will pay.
Simple.
Yeah,
Markiplier's probably pretty happy about that. The Half-Life Alyx 2 RTX remaster is apparently getting a demo next week.
that sounds good. And I say Half-Life is a series of just renowned pedigree, an incredibly important game series for video games. And just like we mentioned before, how some games were benchmarks. Half-Life 2, and Alex were
Mm.
all massive benchmarks in realism, in physics, game mechanics,
Yeah.
and just in 3D gaming. So whenever they introduce anything Half-Life affiliated, by the actual Valve company, not all the spin-offs like fan-made games. But the actual Valve stuff, it's usually a massive step forward. It's going to set a benchmark again. So that's exciting.
My gravity gloves are ready to toss some crab heads. And one of the most talented virtual reality studios in the business just announced that they're making essentially Battlefield in.
I don't play military shooters.
All
Call of
right.
Duty, Battlefield, even Rainbow Six. I don't play them. It's not my kind of game. It's not a game that I find enjoyment of. But I would be remiss. I would be disingenuous. I would be lying if I said that they weren't important. They're a
Oh,
massive market. They have helped push companies to great heights, bring money into the industry. These games have captured the hearts and minds of a lot of people. People love the games that they love, and having one of the biggest games being created, like a version of it being created by a pedigree, by a really impressive, well-respected, well-traveled, a 3D environment, 3D company, 3D video game developing company. That's exciting. I like to
yeah.
see where 3D is going. It looks like it's becoming normalized. They're finding ways to make the games more accessible, like playable. People aren't constantly throwing up. Baby steps, but we're getting there. But yeah, we need this to work before we can get the holodeck. So it's step by step. It's incremental. We're not getting the holodeck tomorrow, but if we keep working at it and keep improving and getting good people who have a track record, developers and publishers who haven't screwed their fans over, who have put the time and energy in to make them happy, give them the big games, give them the opportunities to keep building and growing and getting better. That's how Rare did it. They didn't come swinging out the gates. They had a bunch of semi great games to keep the lights on while they improved their skills, while they pushed ahead with the technological and things. And the next thing you know, Donkey Kong Country. Boom.
That is,
And then we had the Rare Revolution, man. Just boom, 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 boom. A series of great games because we gave them time. We gave them the option to expand and to practice. This little
that
tidbits of news warms warms my heart. It really does because it shows that the industry's going to be fine. It's going to weather all this storm because there's enough people in the industry who are just trying to make games. They're not in it for the corporate side. They're not corporate shills. They are just here to make games, and that's all we really need.
is
As
it.
long as there's people, honest, earnest, decent people making games, there'll be honest gamers buying games.
This is, bro. This is a sermon. I
Mm.
really dig the prospect. I mean, the prospects for the future are based on this on these three games that you covered from that short. And may I ask if you drop that, please in the description, drop me channel name that you got that from again.
Sure, Garrett the Gamer.
Yeah, the game. Yeah, I mean, excuse me. I remember I think I spoke to you before about when everybody is releasing FPSs. What games like man, people in the audience maybe it's gonna sound so obvious, but what game spearheaded all these? I mean, I know GoldenEye, of course. You saying speaking of Rare, and of course Doom, but after Doom, GoldenEye
That was
got the
ID.
FPS. But wait, what do you say?
Yeah, that was id. Doom was id.
Oh right.
Who went on to do Quake. No,
Oh,
Rare did don't Rare did a few Game Boy games and a few I think educational games beforehand, but the big break was they used computer technology to do 3D rendering, which allowed them to make more impressive game designs, which Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, and then they went on to do GoldenEye, Diddy Kong Racing, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, did what did they do during the Blast Corps? A bunch of games on the N64, and all of it was slowly like improving. They were trying different things. Oh, Killer Instinct, Killer Instinct,
oh
and
my
Killer Instinct
goodness.
Gold, of course,
Yeah.
amazing games. Hell, it's just a really solid bunch of games because they were improving. They were treating the games as they were an entity, and they were
Mm.
trying to make the best they could do. So yeah.
That is it, bro. These, yeah, I mean, the word, another keyword for the day is not just, oh my goodness, what's that word you gave us earlier? Kinsuki?
Hmm?
What's that keyword you gave us for the day again? Kinsuki, the Japanese word?
Oh yeah, kintsugi. Kintsugi,
Sugi.
when you highlight the flaws to personalize an object. So when
Right.
if something is broken or something that has flaws, you don't hide them, you don't pretend they're not there. You celebrate them. You celebrate the uniqueness of the
Yes.
object through their flaws. They are
Right.
your flaws or they are their flaws. And
Kinzuki. That's fantastic. Well, that's the other keyword is got to be benchmark for today, man. In that,
yeah,
yeah.
benchmark. Yeah, games, people, works that have set up benchmarks that have helped make the world the
Yes,
way, that set us the standards that are held true within entertainment, within media.
that is it. Yeah, and rare, and yeah, even we were speaking from the beginning of this video, talking about Argonaut with Firefox, Star Fox, and so on. These these um these games are great benchmarks of old, but as you're saying, there may be hope yet for the future with new titles. It's funny because a lot of what we've been speaking about is yearning back for years of old and resurgence of them
Mm.
through the iteration, new iterations in the upcoming console. But it's good to see brand new IPs out of the blue. That's what's a good thing to look at in the real directs as it goes, is when you just got a good old new game and it just does the good old capitalist thing. Just can you sell it? Does it work? And this is true. It's not just can you sell it, does it sell? Is it so good that he's put it out there and people just want it? Now, of course, games don't have arms and legs to sell themselves, but but at the same time, when they are lovingly sold by the company and so on, they they get a life of their own. The companies ultimately, even if you're dealing with sequels of titles that we have already, um, if the next a bit like what we have with the new, you said that the new god at Nintendo, people like Bowser, for instance,
Hmm.
um, if they carry on bringing uh how to say this, what the only thing I'm concerned about if
Okay.
they so don't, sorry, I don't know if my voice is coming through, but
No, I can hear you.
oh yeah, so the new guard with Nintendo. I think this will be the last point, and I'll wrap up because sorry, 4 minutes left. The new guard Nintendo, will they, and especially with the other consoles coming up the rear, if they will, if you will, will they usher in games in a way that the new market of the new generation are looking for?
Mm. I think that they're going to have to. They're going to have to. People play interconnectively these days.
Mm,
Fortnite, for good or bad, for good or right or wrong, whatever your stance may be, it is a massive juggernaut, and games people expect games to be played interconnectedly.
mm.
You be able to play with their friends, or be able to show their friends the video footage, by sharing the videos from the console. The the way people play now is radically different, but same standards should still hold. Make a good game, sell a good
Mm,
game, and then you can monetize it further after you've produced the game. But
that is it.
again, it's companies have made it so expensive to make games. They've ballooned, the costs have ballooned, and the advertising budgets have ballooned so high that they have to make their money back somehow. Which is a
Yeah,
shame.
this is I think this is because this is what breeds corruption is when you subsidize things that people don't want, and you don't let the market speak for itself. If you don't let the profits from what you've made fund its own sequel, then
Hmm.
you're funding your own demise effectively because you will end up having built up something that nobody wants to buy. You'll just languish on the shelf. So here we are,
Hmm.
and as you said, with the interconnective society that we have coming forth, in COVID, so maybe, um, we have a chance to see, uh, will the audience keep this new stream of games alive as the
Hmm.
Switch 2 comes?
I
And
guess time will tell. To be fair,
mm,
there's a lot of games I didn't expect to do as well as they did, but here we are. And a lot of games I thought would do really well, but only seems like me and a few others who like them. So, nobody can assume that their standards will be the highest. But we
yeah,
could do all we do is enjoy the game, support the games we like. I know. Don't gatekeep. Don't tell people, oh, you can't play my game. Get them to play their game. Make them play your game. Pin them down and force them to play your game, and make
force it
them
upon
see
them.
why your game is so good. Make them see why. Make them fall in love with the game you love, so that you get more
I,
of them.
for sure, man. I guess we should call it a day. I mean, we've actually done an
Yes,
extra 30
we've been
minutes
at,
than
we've
usual,
been at for about this for a while
which I
now.
really
But
thank you so much, mate.
everyone, thank you. You say 2 weeks. We should wait. We're here with the videos for the Nintendo Direct. Next week we'll have something fun up for you. And I have found the Super Mario
Just in
and the Rainbow
time.
Stars website. There's a demo
Oh
available
my
to
God.
download, a trailer, and screenshots of the game. So
I think you should play
oh,
that.
oh,
Game
oh, yeah,
advantage sent
I
over.
might actually just play that today. I might just download it and give it a crack today. If I
You
do,
should put.
if I can get it to
Mm.
work, I will do a quick video on it. I will play through it.
Oh, thank you,
But we'll
mate.
see. For I say, busy
If
day
it works.
today. I've got a lot of things on my plate. I might,
Yeah,
if I can get it to work.
yeah.
Not techno
Much
savvy. I'm,
appreciated.
I'm a console gamer. I'm a plug and play kind of guy. Right.
Yeah. Well, mate, thanks very much for your time. It's been an awesome weekend, and looking forward to hearing from you next week. And of course, checking out the rest of the videos that you've sent us. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for that.
yeah. Hopefully, all
Really
the
appreciate it.
next fest videos are up and running. All right then. Peace.
Yeah, mate. Peace, bro.